This is Scott Seuss and we're back. And I really think I should have named my channel Project Central, because it's like I'm always doing some project. I never get a freaking break. Fortunately, my other half had emergency brain surgery for aneurysm, so I got a break there. But anyways, I'm always doing something, so I got a few more videos to make for you guys on the camper, the Can-Am, the Corvair, a few, the Scottsdale over there, a few other projects. But my plan this winter was to do a whole lot of stuff around my property that we just bought last year. It's a homestead. Like, for example, I was going to clean up this potential snake pit right here. So when I go around in my lawnmower, or my dogs go over there, they don't get bit by baby rattlesnakes, because I have found several in my yard here. I was going to cut down these trees here to expose my pond from my house area, and you see how much got done? None of it. But I'm always doing something else. Anyways, yesterday I made a video on my 67 Camaro and the paint steps you need to go through in order to get a professional quality paint job out of rattle can. I could do this car in a professional spray gun and an air compressor and all that stuff, but I don't like doing that. I like to do videos for the DIY guy, for the guy who's inexperienced, for the guy who doesn't know what he's doing. I've been painting cars for a long time, and I've used vanity house sprayers, I've used rollers, I've used paint brushes, I've used spray cans, I've used professional automotive paint, and it all turns out the same if you follow the steps. If you want to know the steps, go back to my previous video posted yesterday and look at them. But let's get to the Camaro. This is my 67 Camaro that I purchased last week. And it has a few blemishes on it. Some repairs that it needs to have done on the body. And that's what we're working on currently. Look at this crap. This here is spray paint and ice. But this other stuff here is actual automotive paint. Whoever you did this, you need to watch my videos and learn something, because you do not know how to paint. So we took this Camaro, got it, brought it home, and I decided I'm going to restore it back to showroom quality. But I decided I'm only going to use rattle cans. So I did the driver's side so far, and here's what I've got. All I've done so far is I sanded all the black with 40 grit to get rid of all the crap in it. I primer it with 3 coats of black. The reason why I use black is because black shows every imperfection. If you use gray, it hides some imperfections. If you use white, it hides some imperfections. Black shows every imperfection. So that's why I use black. So I sanded it down. I put 3 coats of primer on it, 15 minutes before each coat. And then I went back there for yesterday and I sanded it with 180 grit, the primer. And then I reprimed it 3 more coats, and then yesterday I took my cheap old fucking hyper tough sander from Walmart with some Gator 220 grit, and I sanded this with 220 grit. And that's where we're at today. Now, once all this ice melts off the car, my plan today is to sand it with 400 grit. After that's done, I'll reprime it again, and then I'll hit it with 600 grit, and then 800 grit. Once I get to 800 grit, I'll probably wet sand it. So it'll be a wet sand 800 grit, it'll be a wet sand 1000 grit with this with primer between sanding. So primer, 800 grit wet sand, primer, 1000 grit wet sand, primer, 1200 grit wet sand, primer, 1500 grit wet sand, primer, etc. All the way to 2000 grit. Once that's done, I'll go back with gray filler primer just in case I miss any type of spots. And I'll hit it with gray filler primer one time. I will wet sand it with probably 1000 grit probably. I'll hit another coat of primer, and I'll hit it with 1500 wet sand. I'll hit it with 1 more coat of primer and hit it with a 2000 wet sand. And once that's done, this body should be fucking perfect, like it came out of the showroom floor. And then once that's done, like I said, it should be perfect. So what's next? I'm gonna paint it. So we're gonna paint it with a professional quality paint job. I'm probably gonna do a custom paint job because I don't like the plain Jane stuff. I don't like the average Joe standard white. This is actually iridescent white, but I don't like it. So we're going to do a custom paint job on here. And if you want to watch the steps of the transformation of the Camaro, feel free to subscribe. Check out my other videos. There's a lot of knowledge on here. You can take it or you can leave it. I don't really care. I'm doing this for me as a record. And I'm doing it to maybe help somebody out if I can. And if you're interested in this stuff, stay tuned. We got the Camaro, we got the Scottsdale, we got the brand new camper that my other half redid before she had a brain aneurysm. We got the Corvair, I got the jacked up Can-Am, and I may be getting the 85 Cutlass drag car soon. And we got a house build to work on. I gotta finish my deck around my pool. A lot of shit going on. Stay tuned.